Hey guys, it's Ben here from Find Away Photography. I just wanted to quickly do a review on a program called Crashplan that I've been using. So it's what I use for cloud backup basically. So I have all of the photos that I take, I store them on hard drives, lacy, rugged hard drives, usually about 1 terabyte or something like that. I put all my photos on that, and then I back those photos up to another hard drive. So I've got basically two mirrored lacy rugged hard drives, and then for that triple threat backup option, I back those ones up to the cloud using Crashplan. There's lots of other options out there. Another popular one is called Backblaze, so check that one out as well if you want. This is the one that I like to use, called Crashplan. I'll tell you a little bit why I like to use it and that sort of thing. But the whole idea here is you have to have at least 2 copies of your photos, of your files. If one gets lost, at least you have a second option. And RAID hard drives and that sort of thing, where they're just double backed up kind of onto 2 separate hard drives but in the same location, doesn't work quite as good, because if worse comes to worse and you lose those, or you get a fire in your home or wherever they're stored, or they get stolen or something like that, that's it. That's all. They're all gone, and that is would be a bit of a horrible feeling. I have lost a few hard drives before, and that's kind of what's made me develop this kind of. It's not extra cautious, but it's pretty simple to do, and it keeps all my photos safe. And if I ever need to access them, and I don't have my hard drives, this is a cool thing as well, so I'll show you that. But yeah, that's all we're doing here. So Crashplan is what I use. Biggest thing that people wonder usually about backing up to the cloud is the cost. So here it is. I'm down in New Zealand right now, so these are showing in Australian dollars, but it's going to be pretty similar wherever you are. I pay about $60 to $70 a year. So that to me is more than worth it for what you get. It's absolutely unlimited storage, so you can put as many files as you want on there. So you can put your photos, everything, all the contents of your computer, all your videos, whatever you want. So that's really cool. So $60, $70 a year, $5 a month. To me, it is absolutely worth it. And then to be safe, I still do have 2 copies of my files on different hard drives as well. So that's kind of the individual thing, and then you can see there's family as well, and business. That's totally different, but for you, all you probably need is $60, $70 a month. The other cool thing that Crashplan has that no one else really does is this: you can sign up for free and back up to another computer. So the way this works is, if you have a friend, and they're interested in doing something similar, and hopefully they live nearby you, what you can do is you take your hard drive, give it to them, they give a hard drive to you, you each plug it into your computers, and you back up to the hard drive stored at their house, which is yours. They back up to the hard drive stored at your house, which is theirs, and it's totally free, and it kind of gives you set up your own cloud basically. So it's an off-site location other than your home, just in case it does get, the fire situation or something gets stolen or whatever. That's kind of what we're planning for with the cloud backup. And so that just lets you do that, but it's totally free. It takes a little bit more effort to set up, but it's, still easy to do. So that one's really cool. Backblaze and that sort of thing don't have that. So that's one pretty big perk about Crashplan. The other reason I go with Crashplan instead of something like Backblaze is it is a full backup solution. Backblaze, what they do is they back up it creates more of an archive rather than a backup. So they archive and completely mirror whatever you tell them to. So if it's a hard drive or your computer or whatever it is, they create a mirror. And so if you move files on that or delete files, they also get deleted on the backup that Backblaze would have. So you have 30 days. If you delete a file, in 30 days it's deleted from Backblaze's archive of your files as well. What Crashplan does, however, is even if you delete a file, they still store it. And I think you have to go right into Crashplan, and you can change the settings and that sort of thing. But it's to me, I find that that's a little bit more secure, because sometimes you might delete a file accidentally. The whole point of having it backed up is that to prevent from accidents like that, having an effect. So if you delete a file, it's more than 30 days that you realize that it's missing. On something like Backblaze, it's totally gone, whereas Crashplan, you can still find it and recover it. So that's really cool. That's why I choose to use Crashplan. Another really good resource, if you're looking at doing a bit more research on this sort of thing, it's called This Week in Photo. You might go to this website already. It's really, really good. The podcast that I listen to a lot is called the Alpha Mirrorless podcast. And even if you don't have an Alpha Mirrorless camera, which is a Sony camera, it's still really good information. And the episode in particular that deals with this is episode 17. And they talk about the differences between Crashplan and Backblaze and developing a strategy for backing up your images. So check that out, episode 17 of the This Week in Photo Alpha Mirrorless podcast. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you'll find it. And you can actually download this from the iTunes store or whatever you want as well. So check that one out. And now let's hop on over into Crashplan itself. I'll give you a really quick tour of what's going on in the program. So this is what you download the program, you install it on your computer, and this is what you end up getting. So this is just a quick overview of everything that I've got going on right now. You can see I've got a backup running. I've got 5 days left, and it's showing me what I've backed up already, what's remaining, what's sending at the moment. And this is probably the most important number, and one that's going to answer a lot of questions for you. So this is the rate that is backing up right now. So that they give you absolutely unlimited storage. You can put as much as you want on Crashplan. What limits you is their backup speed. So even if you have a really fast internet connection and that sort of thing, it still doesn't seem to quite give you full speed. So I have been averaging anywhere from, sometimes I go down to 400 kilobytes per second, but the average I've been finding is about 700 kilobytes per second to 1 megabyte per second. Every now and then, if I have a really good internet connection and that sort of thing, I can get up closer to 2 megabytes per second. But what I would suggest is take a look at how many files you want to back up, figure out using maybe 900 or 800 kilobytes per second as a good rate, and figure out how long that's going to take. So mine, you can see I've backed up, I've got 5 days left. I'm backing up almost just over a terabyte. And this has, it's nice and optimistic right now because it's showing 5 days left. That's pretty nice. This has been about 4 or 5 months in the works that I've been since I've been using Crashplan, and I'm not in a rush or anything. I'm pretty comfortable with the backup of my files right now between the two hard drives. So this is just extra security. So I was happy to wait 4 or 5 months. I wasn't doing much traveling around with my hard drives where they could get beat up or stolen or lost or something like that. So I was pretty comfortable waiting that amount of time, but it has taken about 4 or 5 months to do the whole terabyte. So make sure you look into that. And the other thing about this that I was going to tell you is I set my computer up to back up overnight. So what I do there, so I have it, as soon as your computer goes to sleep, it will stop the backup. So what I've done, I'm on a Mac, a MacBook Pro, so I go into settings, into battery, into energy saver, and I've clicked this. So whenever I'm plugged into the power adapter, I checked this box that prevents the computer from going to sleep. So it basically stays awake and backs up all through the night and that sort of thing. So that's really important. And so if you're on another computer, you can download lots of apps like Caffeine or something like that that keeps your computer awake as well. So that's pretty important. I just want to mention that really quick. And we'll hop back into Crashplan. I'll go through a little bit more here. The other thing, I keep forgetting what I was going to tell you, but there's something else that was pretty important. Yes, that's right. The other thing you can do is if you have a huge hard drive with tons of files on it, what you can do is you can actually send that hard drive to Crashplan, or they'll send you whatever capacity hard drive you need. You load it up with whatever files you want, and you send it back to them, and then they load it onto your account and kind of get a head start that way. I have no idea how much that costs. I've never done it, just because I have been quite patient. So if that interests you and you've got, I would say anything over a terabyte or terabyte and a half, I would probably start looking at that, especially if you are rushed for time. You just get your base set up, put as much as you want on that hard drive, send it back to them, and then after that, as you get new files, then you just use that to upload to Crashplan through with the method I'm doing here. So that's a quick overview of Crashplan. This is where you choose which files you want to upload. So you can see this is opening the whole file structure of what I've got on my hard drives. I've only chosen to upload the pictures and some other things right now. But you can upload as much as you want on your computer, or as many hard drives as you want. This is where you'd go if you want to restore. So you have some sort of crash, or you lose a hard drive and you want to restore it. This is where you go. These are some settings where you can kind of configure how Crashplan is set up. I've changed these just to make the upload speed as fast as I can. So this isn't how it comes stock, but I've kind of played around with these. So if you are getting it for the first time, you can just mirror these settings if you want. There's some other stuff here. I don't really play around with much of this. I think these numbers I might have changed, but yeah, check this out. This is just the first time you set it up, you can do that. This shows you the history of everything you've uploaded, start and stop times. This is where you would go if you wanted to back up to a friend's computer. This is your backup code that you give them, and then they give you the other one. And that's pretty much it. I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to say. It's a super good program, and if you are looking for just that little bit of extra security, this is a really awesome way to go. So this is Crashplan. You can also check out Backblaze as well, but I'll have some links and everything that I've kind of talked about summarized in the post on my website. So the review of Crashplan, you can check that on the website. The one last thing I'll mention about Crashplan is they also have an app, so you can, if you're traveling around and you've got your computer at home and your hard drives aren't with you, but you're going to someone's house, or you're going to, maybe you have a client or something like that and you want to show them some photos, you can actually access everything from Crashplan on an app on your phone or your iPad or whatever it is. You can download the app. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's hop over to my iPad really quick, and we'll give you a quick tour of the app and what that looks like. So let's head over there. Alright, so let's quickly take a look at the Crashplan app on either an iPad or iPhone. So you download the app from the Play Store or the App Store or whatever it is. Get it on there, link it up or sign in with Crashplan into your account, and it shows you everything that you've got backed up. So this is my computer, and it's showing 95% remaining, or 95% completed of what I wanted to back up. I go into there. It's got my 2 hard drives that I've got backing up at the moment. So let's go into the top one. It's got my pictures folder that I've got backed up. I've got two years of photos basically on here. These are just my older ones. I've got some newer ones on my other hard drive. So let's hop into 2015, showing you everywhere, all my folders, exactly how I've got it on my computer. And then, here's all of the photos. So if I went into here, you can see all the photos from that I've got on file. These ones are RAW files, so they're .arw, the Sony RAW file format. They're not going to display on here. So I've downloaded one here that's JPEG. So basically all you would do is you click on that one and it would download. and then if you went back to the very beginning or just press home at the top, it shows the files that you've downloaded. So if I go and click on that one, then you have access to all of your files and pictures and everything that you need while you don't have access to your computer and your hard drive, all through the Crashplan app. So that is my full review of Crashplan. Hopefully you enjoyed that and learned a few things. I'm also going to write a post on my website, and this video will be available there as well. And in that post, I'll have all the links and kind of a quick summary of everything I've gone through. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and learned something. And if you're like me, then you'll start using Crashplan as well soon. So check it out and let me know what you think. Thanks.